Do you ever wonder how your clothes tell the story of who you are? Well, let's talk about that in this week's episode of the Dress with Purpose podcast. I'm Manta Hall, your personal stylist and the host of the Dress with Purpose podcast. Today, we are going to start a 3-part series on what does it mean to dress with purpose and how does what I wear tell the story of who I am. And today I want to talk about our creativity, our self-expression, and our individuality, and how that shows up in the story of who we are and the story that our clothes are telling to the people around us. So let's start this style journey together. So part of what it means to dress with purpose is that dress with purpose allows us to express and create who we want to say we are to the world. Not to put on a fake show, not to not be who we are, but to really show up as who we are. And this gives you permission to be creative and express who you are. And I really want to encourage you as we go through what it means to dress with purpose over this next couple of weeks, that you really give yourself permission to think about these things, to really dive deep and think about, well, why would I want to dress with purpose? And what does that really mean to me? And let me encourage you to allow this thought of dress with purpose to go with you as you walk into your closet every morning. So let's talk about how dress with purpose impacts and reflects our creativity and our individuality. Do you realize that every outfit you wear tells a story about who you are? So how do you want to curate that story? And what part of that story do you want to show on any particular day? Do you want to show the fun part of your personality? Are you wanting to show the more serious, more moody type of your personality? What story do you want to tell? Now, as we start to think about our stories and what story our clothes communicate about who we are, I want you to think about a couple of different things. First, I want you to evaluate and think about your body. Now, most of us women don't usually like the way we look. We don't like the shape of our bodies. We don't feel comfortable really in our skin. We struggle a little bit with that. And I want to encourage you that as we get older, and I am 54 years old, and I have learned and I have really walked through the process of learning to accept my body as it is right now as a 54-year-old. I have gone through menopause. I have had all the lovely effects of that, and I am embracing the body that I have right now. Is it my optimal body? Probably not. But you know what? I feel good about who I am, and I want to encourage you to feel good about who you are. And I want you, if you're at a point in your life that maybe it's time to change the narrative of your story, and maybe it's time to really think about how you dress with purpose and the story that you're telling the world about who you are. So I want you to think about how you can shift from the narrative of, oh, I really don't like how I look. I really don't feel good about my shape or any of that. I want you to push that all aside. And I want you to stand and look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am beautiful and I am faithfully and wonderfully made. And I am a woman who has life experiences, lifelines. I've lived life. And this is part of living life. So I want you to give yourself permission to really just accept the woman that is looking at you in the mirror, because she is an amazing woman who has done amazing things, who has been through failures and successes, who has lived life with joy, with sadness, with all the things that come with life. And we get to choose how we portray the story of our life to the world. So, how are you going to curate your story? How are you going to curate your wardrobe so that it expresses who you are creatively, individually? You get to choose that. You get to choose what actually dress with purpose means to you and why you should care about it. So all of these facets of who we are, the life we've lived, the way we think about our body, and giving ourselves permission to have a little fun with the way we dress, the way we visually communicate ourselves to the world, is part of what it means to dress with purpose. Last week's episode, I talked about all the fashion trends, all the new beauty trends with hair and makeup. I talked about accessories and handbags and shoes and all the things. All those things can be used as tools to tell the story of who you are and to communicate who you are. I want you to pull all of those facets into a dress with purpose wardrobe that communicates who you are. I am 54 years old. I tend to have a more classic style with some girly glam and a little bit of rock and roll, 80s vibe, hair metal bands and all. So you'll see me in days wearing a dress shirt with a nice cozy cardigan, or you may see me in a sequin blazer with a rock band tee and some distressed jeans. That is the beauty of what our clothes can communicate. They can communicate that today I am being a little more cozy, a little more reserved, a little more serious. And then there are days that it can reflect that I'm a little more playful. I'm having a little more fun. I want to be a little more glamorous and show a different side of my personality. So that is part of what it means to dress with purpose. To express, to play, to really show who you are through your clothing. So in the comments below, I would love for you to share with me, what is your story? What is your outfit communicating to the world today? Okay, so we've talked about what it means to dress with purpose when it comes to creativity and self-expression and kind of curating the story that we want to tell through life experiences or through the playfulness that we want to have with the life experiences that we've had. And now I want to talk a little bit about how we harness that when it comes to different occasions and context. Now, there are times where me wearing a sequin blazer with a rock and roll tee and stretch jeans probably would not be the best representation of the story that I want to tell in front of a certain audience or in a certain situation. Like I wouldn't wear that outfit to a wedding. I wouldn't wear that outfit to a job interview. I would probably wear what I'm wearing today for a job interview. Just a nice casual coat again with a nice dress shirt and with nice slacks and some boots. That is portraying a message to my potential employer that I am a confident, competent woman and that I am dressing for the occasion. Now, dressing for a wedding, depending on the dress code, can mean a whole different thing, and it might allow you to have a little more freedom to express your personality and express who you are. I might be able to show up to a evening wedding in a sequin cocktail dress, provided that that is the vibe of the wedding. I may need to be a little more reserved in the way I dress for the wedding based on the people whose wedding it is and their style and what they've shown. So there is a time and a place where what you wear depends on the context and the occasion. Now, that shouldn't stop you from expressing yourself and being who you really are and showing up through your clothing and who you really are as an expression of what you're wearing. You can have some fun with your hair, your makeup, the accessories. You know, I could walk into a job interview with this outfit on, but I have a spectacular red briefcase that I'm carrying for a pop of color that allows me to express who I am without compromising that confident woman I want to place forward. So I really want you, as we are walking through what it means to dress with purpose over these next couple weeks, that you really think too about where you're going, who you're seeing, what does the occasion call for, and applying that to what you're wearing. And I really want to encourage you to really do some self-reflection here. I've spent quite a good bit of time over the last few years really honing in on my own personal style, what it means to me to dress with purpose, and allowing what I wear express who I am and show up being who I am authentically me. There's no pretense, there's no who you see is who you get. And I'm okay with that. And so I really want you to think about those things. I really want you to start. We're gonna dive in week 3. We're really gonna talk about confidence a lot because I think confidence really has a huge role to play in how you get dressed and what it means to dress with purpose. But we're talking about creativity and self-expression and starting to express your individuality. I really want you to think, and if you're a journaler, I'm a journaler. So if you're a journaler, I would love for you to write in your journal, what story do I want my clothes to stay about who I am? And what does that communicate about who I am? I want you to go look in your closet. I want you to stand there and think about the things that are hanging up there and how they communicate who you are. I've had to get rid of some things in my closet because they were great I saw them on somebody and I thought, oh, that looks really good on them. I bet you I could probably get away with that. And I've had to get rid of it because it isn't who I am. And so I really want you to think about the clothes that are in your closet and how they reflect who you are. So I want you to journal who you really are. What is the story of you? What do you want? How you dress? And what do you want that to say about you? And it can reflect different types, different facets of who you are. The playful, fun side, the serious and conservative side, the rebel side, whatever part of your story and who you are, you want to reflect in your clothing. Because let's be honest, we know that the world, although they say don't judge a book by its cover, they do. And so what do you want your cover to say about you? And if they're going to judge, that's their problem and not yours. I want you to remember that. This is all about you and how you show up in the world and how you want to communicate about who you are. If they can't see that, or if they don't want to get to know you because they don't like your cover, then that's on them. Me personally, they're missing out on a pretty spectacular woman, because I imagine you have quite a story to tell. So remember that when you choose every day to dress with purpose, to allow your creativity and individuality to shine through, to allow your personality, your mood, whatever it is that you feel that day, that you show up into the world as you, and your clothing reflects who you are. To dress with purpose is not the easiest thing to start. Honestly, when we start to do anything on purpose, right? I don't know about you, it's the new year, it's the very beginning of the year, whether you've set goals or you've had intentions to do certain things, it isn't always easy to keep those up and to do those things. And it's a process. You go through the entire year working towards the things that you set as intentions for the beginning of the year. Or you beat yourself up at the end of the year because you forgot all about what those intentions were at the beginning of the year. So as we're starting this new year and you're starting this new journey into what it means to dress with purpose for you, make sure you don't miss any future episodes by hitting the subscribe button. And I would love if you know of a woman who would need to hear this or would be interested in learning how to dress with purpose, that you would share this with all of your friends. Today, I know we talked about some heavier things, and I just want you to be encouraged and to know that when you show up and what you visually communicate is who you really are. And that's what it means to dress with purpose. Next week, you don't want to miss, we're going to add another facet to what it means to dress with purpose. We're going to dive into how your values, beliefs, goals, dreams, and aspirations impact how you get dressed. So get ready to transform your personal style story and choose every day to dress with purpose.